Hello, hello. Oh my, it's been a while since I've done a YouTube live stream. And I thought this was really important. I had a client question recently, and normally I would answer on Facebook within our private, client membership Facebook group. And her question was just felt so relevant to all of us as healers, shamans, caregivers, that I wanted to come on and share the answers that channel through me in a bigger way, not just in the membership, the paid membership group. This felt like it was one to share universally with all of you guys. So let me just read the client's question. Now, and I will say that this particular client, while yes, she does have a healing practice and business and is building that, she also has a current caregiver position where she works for someone else. And so you'll find I just wanted to explain the wording of her question. That's why. But like I said, the information that's going to channel through is going to be relevant to any spiritual biz owner who is here to help and support our tribes folk, right, in their empowerment journeys. So, okay, here's the question. She says, there are days at work when I feel that all I have to offer my clients is not enough. That measuring success means the client only made 2 suicide gestures instead of 4 gestures. Our sessions together offer some respite from the pain and trauma, only to relapse a few hours later. It feels like 2 steps forward and 5 steps back. What perspective or tool can we adopt to help us sustain hope for people who continually choose to stay in their trauma vortex? I cannot walk away because it is my role to help her find safety for herself and keep others safe from her. I understand we are not meant to alleviate suffering for everybody, but I want to be mindful that I don't become burned out trying. Okay. So like I said, that's a unique situation where she's working in a place where she's the caregiver, especially for this one client, a live-in client there. But really, I'm going to channel through what's coming for anyone that we care for, whether it's in a paid job or whether it's a client who's paying us, or whether it's a family member, or a close friend that we're helping out, or whatever it is. All we can do is offer the support that we're here to offer, as pertains to our purposes on earth. And the person who comes to us for help or who's in our care, whether they're aware of it or not, or even able to have this level of consciousness about it, their well-being is actually their own responsibility. And on a soul level, even say someone who mentally can't really care for themselves, on a soul level, the soul knows and understands everything. The soul knows and understands that it is responsible, that the individual is responsible for their well-being ultimately. And the helpers and supporters and caregivers and light workers that come in and connect with them to help them on their path, we can only do what we can do. We can only be a beacon, right? And if it's a case of keeping them physically safe, as it says in the job description, or that kind of thing, obviously we do what we can under that, in our jurisdiction, under that description. But yeah, then there's only, it's like clients are only with us for a certain allotted amount of time during a session, or a certain allotted amount of a period of time during the course of a program or journey that they take with us, or during an allotted period of time during a workday. So, you know, the most important thing we can do in order to help them is to actually care for ourselves first and foremost, love ourselves first and foremost, until our cups are totally full and running over. Because then the next time we come in contact with that, with the subject of our caregiving, or with our client, or with our group of clients within a membership or a program or whatever it is, if we're coming to them already totally filled with our love and our self-care, then our vibration is so high that the next time we come in contact with them, they're, again, it's their soul's choice, but they can choose to look at us as the mirror for them, and they start to make more self-care, higher vibrational choices for themselves, greater self-loving, surrounding themselves, their beings, etc. Or they can choose to not look at us and to just continue, like you said, in the trauma vibration. And it's interesting, like if I think of like mental health patients, and I also think of like animals, the animals of Earth. People think that they can hurt animals or do whatever they want because, well, they're just animals. They don't feel, they're not conscious, blah, 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 blah. And probably there are a lot of misconceptions about people who are mental health patients. People might assume that, oh, well, they're not aware of what's going on. They're in their own little world. They're not conscious, blah, blah, blah. Well, I'm here to tell you that on a soul level and the level of vibration, both animals and mentally ill, quote unquote, people, humans, do have a level of awareness, even if they can't express it. Even if animals can't come up to you and say, listen, man, you really hurt me when you did this thing, and maybe a mental health patient can't come up to you and say the same thing, but you can tell in their demeanor, in their energy, in how they might act out, behaviors they might have, or I'm thinking also of like autistic people. They have awareness and they can communicate, just not maybe in our way that we're used to. That's the normal way or whatever. But if you're around them long enough, you know exactly what's going on in their consciousness. And so give them more credit than you think they deserve when it comes to actually being aware. So if someone is choosing to be in a trauma mode, well, if it's your client, if it's your client in your own independent business, you can 100% fire your client, because if you are doing all you can in the position of a healing facilitator and they're just not hopping on the bus, then you don't want to waste your energy. That's just take care of yourself. But if you're in a position where it's literally your job description to care for someone who's in the trauma vibration, or who chooses to be there, more than 50% of the time or whatever it is, all you can do is keep raising your own vibration, do your job, keep them safe, do whatever you need to do while you're there during those hours. But once you leave work, if they cross your mind, then you can send them the archangels, or surround them with the spirits of the animals, because the animals are empowerment teachers and teachers of self-love. Or say ho'oponopono to yourself. I love you, I'm sorry, I forgive you, thank you. So I would say, as far as doing something for them when you're not there, archangels and the animals, boom. Or even God in the universe, or just say, divine, go to that person. But that's not your responsibility, really. Your responsibility is to continue on your own inner healing journey, is to build up your own vibration, is to focus on creating the happiest, healthiest, wealthiest, most peaceful, most free life for yourself that you possibly can. Because then you will be a beacon of light and you will be shining your vibration out to all who come in contact with you, including your clients, including your customers, including your, the people you are caregivers for, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But you're not responsible for them beyond being the best caregiver and facilitator that you can be. And in order to do that, self-care comes first always. How can we be a caregiver if we're not a care receiver? Okay. I hope that helps. Let me know how this goes for you.